whatever time of the day it is. I honestly have no concept of time right now because I'm recording this on the weekend, and to be entirely honest, you could be watching it literally any time on literally any day because this was recorded in the past, and that's the magic of internet content. But regardless of when you're watching it, I'm glad you're watching it, and I welcome you to Conversations with Coyotes. My name is Bravado, and I am a coyote with whom you'll be having a conversation. Today, I'm going to be doing some Q&A as a nice throwback to a whopping 4 weeks ago. You'll notice I'm only holding up 3 fingers because I also have no real concept of how numbers work. Let's just forget this all happened and get started, shall we? Well, I suppose it depends on whether you think there's a right and a wrong way to pronounce it in the first place. Now, I recently heard that folks who have to deal with them on the regular are the ones who call them coyotes, while folks who never have to deal with them are the ones who call them coyotes. And if that's true, I suspect it's partially due to that Wile E. fella having been the only exposure most people have to him. But, as far as I'm concerned, there's no wrong way to pronounce it as long as you recognize that they're superior. As far as spelling, I've never once in my life misspelled that word. I think you know the answer to that one. Well, the short, simple answer is, of course I do. And I think that's natural for you to have an emotional connection to anything that you spend a not insignificant amount of time or money to acquire. But this is a kind of a more complicated question, and I want to maybe spend a little more time talking about it down the road. But suffice it to say that each of them is sort of a physical manifestation of one of my characters, and each of those characters is a realization of a certain part of my personality that I wanted to maybe focus more on. And so the suit is effectively the way to most fully realize that, and in that way it means a lot more to me than any amount of money. The font that I've been using for my videos and a good portion of my other work is called Lotto, as in there are a lot of other fonts, but this one is clearly superior, like me. I think for the purposes of this conversation, you just gotta think of furry like you would any other hobby or pastime. And with that in mind, you gotta ask yourself, is this person you're thinking of telling someone that you'd share these other interests with? And if so, then go for it and just be confident about it and trust that it'll be something that they can understand even if they don't share your interest in it. Only consensually. It's pronounced ringer, which is a fitting name for a raccoon, but the definition is technically more in this sense. Oh boy. There is, on a daily basis, so much junk in the world. And if you only focus on that, it is going to make you miserable. And boy, do I know it. All you can do is just sift through it like you're panning for gold and look for those little flecks of value. Whether that's a great tweet that somebody made you smile, or a conversation you had with a friend, or just a nice compliment you got from somebody on something that you worked on. All of those are nice little glints of positivity that can help keep moving you forward. And I think that that's a more general piece of advice. It's not just within the fandom, it's just going in general as a person on this earth. But it's also a reminder of how important that positivity can be to people, and how everybody kind of gets their positivity in a different way. So that's what keeps me going. And maybe it's not necessarily something that's aimed toward me specifically, but seeing that there are people out there trying to make other people happy and trying to improve their days, that in and of itself makes me feel better about the state of things. So I highly recommend that you try to contribute to that, because not only do you have the opportunity to help someone else out, but chances are it'll make you feel better as well. Woo! That was a lot of work. I must have answered something like 100 questions. If you did submit a question, I really do appreciate it, even if I didn't answer it on here. And thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next week with some video where I talk at you for a while about some unspecified topic, but this is by no means the last of the Q&As that I'll be doing, so keep an eye on those as well. Other than that, I got nothing else to say, so I might as well just go take my nap now.